Hello guys, I hope you are doing well. Here we're going to continue our second part of the series on index laws and with a bit of application. So in this question, we've got 3/4 times x to the power of 5 times y all to the power of 3. Now, if you watched my last video, my explanation would be that the long way to write this would be 3/4 x to the power of 5 times y multiplied by 3/4 times x to the power of 5 times y multiplied by 3/4 x to the power of 5 times y. So writing it out 3 times. But once you get more used to it, you'd end up realizing that it's each term being raised to the power of 3. So 3/4 to the power of 3 times x to the power of 5 to the power of 3 times by y to the power of 3. Then 3/4 to the power of 3, well, 3 to the power of 3 is 27. 4 to the power of 3 is 64, so it's 27 over 64. Ooh, what am I doing there? 64. Then x to the power of 5 to the power of 3, multiplying the powers gives us x to the power of 15. And then y to the power of 3 is, of course, just y cubed. So our simplified version is 27 over 64, x to the power of 15, and then y to the power of 3. Let's keep it moving. So next question. We've got the x is in between -1 and 0. And we're going to write the following expressions in order, starting with the smallest. Well, one way in which you can do this is just pick a number for x that's in between -1 and 0. Nothing wrong with that. So let's just suppose x equals -1/2. That's all right. That means that this value would be -1/2. This value would be -1/2 squared. This value would be -1/2 cubed. And this value would be -1/2 to the power of 4. So this one stays, of course, as -1/2. Let's change the color actually just to, I don't know, give it a bit of character. -1/2 all squared is -1/2 times -1/2, which is 1/4. Then -1/2 cubed, well, that's going to be 1/4 times -1/2, which is -1/8. And then -1/2 to the power of 4 times that by -1/2, giving you 1 over 16. Then, starting with the smallest, we've got that -1/8 is the smallest. Then we've got -1/2. Then we've got 1/4. No, then we've got a 16th, rather. A 16th is smaller than 1/4. Then we've got 1/4. So the -1/2, the -1/8 rather, that corresponded to x cubed. It would be the smallest because it's the negative. Ooh, mistake. I made another mistake. See my mistake there? Let me know. I'm going to reveal my mistake. In actual fact, -1/2 is smaller than -1/8. Got to be very careful with this. And it's kind of good that you see me made these mistakes because, you know, I do make mistakes. So let's put that as -1/2 there. And then we've got -1/8. Okay, because 1/2 is bigger than 1/8, so therefore -1/2 is going to be smaller than -1/8. Okay, so the -1/2 corresponded to the x, and then we had that the -1/8 corresponded to x cubed, and then the 1/16 corresponded to x to the power of 4, and then the 1/4 corresponded to x squared. Okay, so our final order is x cubed, x to the power of 4, and then x to the power of 2. Interesting question, and it's very, very easy to go wrong, so we should always check, as you saw what happened with me. Okay, so next question. We have 6xy cubed all to the power of 3, all divided by 4xy y to the power of 5? Well, the top part we know, we can write it as 6 cubed, x cubed, and y cubed, because it's y to the power of 3, and that's also being cubed. And that's over 4x to the power times y to the power of 5. 6 cubed is going to give us 216, and we have x cubed, and y cubed is going to be y to the power of 9, just multiplying 3 and 3. And that's all divided by 4x y to the power of 5. Then simplifying, you have 216 divided by 4. What's that going to be? That's going to be 54. And then we have x cubed, and then the x, they will cancel. So you have x squared, y to the 9 and y to the 5. Well, they will cancel, and you're left with y to the power of 4. Technically, this should be over 1, because when you divide this all, it should equal 1. And then finally, it simplifies to 54x squared y to the power of 4. So we have that there. Okay, next we have, write the cube root of w to the minus 10 plus times w to the minus 2 as an integer power of w. Well, firstly, let's simplify what's underneath the cube roots. So the cube root, w to the power of, or minus 10 plus minus 2, you're plussing because we're timesing, so we add the indices. That's going to be w to the power of minus 12. And then taking the cube root means taking something, raising it to the power of a third. So that becomes w to the power of minus 12 to the power of a third. Then that's going to equal w to the power of, we multiply the powers, so minus 12 times a third. So minus 12 times a third, we're basically working out a third of minus 12, which is minus 4. So we have w to the power of minus 4. So giving us w to the power of minus 4, and minus 4 is our integer power. Okay, let's do one more. This one looks a little bit trickier, but it's okay. We've been given that a is equal to 3 to the power of x and b is equal to 3 to the power of y. They're asking us to write out 3 to the power of x plus 1 in terms of a. Well, we can look here and we realize we've got 3 to the power of x plus 1. We can use that addition rule, but in reverse. 3 to the power of x plus 1 is the same thing as 3 to the power of x multiplied by 3 to the power of 1, right? Because when we multiply, we add the powers. So if we write it backwards, we kind of see what's going on. 3 to the power of x was equal to a, and then times 3 to the power of 1. And remember, 3 to the power of 1 is just 3, so that becomes a times 3, which is 3a. So that's what that is there. Next time, we've got 3 to the power of x plus y in terms of a and b. Well, again, using the same addition rule, 3 to the power of x plus y is equal to 3 to the power of x multiplied by 3 to the power of y. 3 to the power of x was equal to a. 3 to the power of y was equal to b, so that is just equal to ab. There we go, guys. We will continue more of these questions in our next part. Thank you very, very much.